Organizers insist their mission is peaceful, accusing Israel of illegally intercepting the vessels in international waters. Israel has enforced a naval blockade on Gaza since 2007. Previous flotilla attempts have ended in deadly confrontations, most notably in 2010 when 9 activists were killed. The war between Ukraine and Russia continues, with Ukraine intensifying drone attacks on Russian oil refineries, hitting 21 of the country's 38 major plants since January, nearly 50% more than in all of 2024. The strikes, some over 1,000 kilometers inside Russia, have forced at least 10 refineries to suspend operations, cutting fuel output by as much as a fifth. Long queues have formed at petrol stations, especially in Siberia and Crimea, where rationing has begun. Russia's wholesale fuel prices have jumped 40% this year, with small petrol stations shutting down amid shortages. "We haven't had a crisis like this since the 1990s, one manager said. President Volodymyr Zelensky says crippling Russia's oil sector is key to forcing Moscow to negotiate. Analysts agree the campaign is a core Ukrainian strategy, targeting both military supply lines and facilities vital to civilians. While crude oil exports remain high, the refinery strikes are squeezing Russia's domestic fuel market and adding pressure to its war efforts. Still counting losses, the death toll from Tuesday night 6.9 magnitude earthquake off Cebu in the central Philippines has risen to 72, officials said on Thursday. Nearly 300 others were injured as rescuers pulled more bodies from collapsed buildings, including a century-old church and a damaged pension house. The shallow quake knocked out power, damaged bridges and flattened homes across the Visayas, making it the country's deadliest since a 7.2 quake hit Bohol in 2013, killing 222. The Philippines, which sits on the Pacific Ring of Fire, records more than 800 quakes a year. Similarly, rescuers in East Java are scrambling to save about 60 students still trapped after an Islamic boarding school collapsed during prayers earlier this week. The Al-Khazoni school in Sidoarjo caved in when its foundations gave way under ongoing construction, crushing dozens of teenagers beneath the rubble. So far, at least 6 people have been confirmed dead. Rescuers wearing signature orange uniforms are tunneling through debris by hand, fearing heavy machinery could trigger more collapse. "Maybe there is still hope for our little brothers," one operations chief said. Indonesia, home to 42,000 Islamic schools known as pesantren, is no stranger to building safety risk, with experts blaming poor construction standards. Meanwhile, the besieged city of El Fasher, Sudan, is on the brink as paramilitary Rapid Support Forces (RSF) close in on the army's last stronghold in Darfur. For 17 months, tens of thousands have been trapped under constant shelling, hunger and collapsing health services. 13-year-old Ahmed Abdul Rahman, his body riddled with shrapnel, lies in a camp where medical care has all but vanished. Others, like Hamida Adam Ali, suffer untreated wounds while children cry from hunger. The RSF, accused of war crimes and backed by drone strikes allegedly from the UAE, have advanced on key military bases, tightening their grip on the region. Seizing El Fasher would give them vital supply routes to Libya and a stronger position in Sudan's civil war. Civilians are paying the price. Last month, more than 75 worshippers were killed in a mass strike blamed on the RSF. Families continue to flee, often attacked or robbed on the way out. The UN warns of mass atrocities if the city falls, but for those still inside, each day is a fight to survive. In other news, fishermen in St. Louis, northern Senegal, say their livelihoods are under threat from the Greater Tut Ameyim gas project, operated by British Petroleum, which sits off the coast of the Senegal-Mauritania border. A 500-meter exclusion zone around the platform blocks access to a natural reef teeming with fish, leaving small-scale fishermen with dwindling catches and plunging incomes. Locals accuse British Petroleum and the government of failing to deliver promised artificial reefs to replace lost fishing grounds. Some women in the fish processing trade have already lost jobs, while many fishermen now earn less than a fifth of what they once made, forcing some to abandon the tradition for carpentry or migration. BP insists safety zones are standard and says an artificial reef will be completed by the end of 2025. Authorities hail the project as a boost to Senegal's energy future, but fishermen fear they are paying the price. We only have the sea to live on, one said. Still on the news, reports show two Endeavour airplanes, a subsidiary of Delta, collided Wednesday night on the runway at New York's LaGuardia Airport. The incident happened around 9:58 p.m. as one jet was landing and the other preparing for takeoff. One person sustained non-life-threatening injuries and was taken to the hospital, while Delta confirmed the flight attendant suffered a minor injury. Authorities said the low-speed collision caused visible damage to one aircraft, but did not disrupt operations at the busy airport. Delta has pled to work with regulators to review safety measures. This news broadcast is coming to you live from Aneke TV. Remember, you can follow us on all social media feeds on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, and here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. Now a quick reminder of major developments in the news. Israel seizes Gaza aid boats. Ukrainian drone strikes on Russian refineries trigger fuel crisis. Philippines' quick death toll climbs to 72. Indonesia rescuers race to save students trapped in school collapse. Coming up shortly in the news, Nigeria and Morocco set up $25 billion gas pipeline company. NNPC counts heavy losses as Pengassan strike halts oil gas supply. EFCC recovers 853 billion naira, secures 4,171 convictions in 1 year. Please stay with us.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obobina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
You're still watching Around the Globe on Aneke TV. We'll bring you stories from Nigeria. The $25 billion Nigeria-Morocco gas pipeline project is taking a major step forward with the creation of a dedicated project company and fresh international backing. Spanning nearly 6,000 kilometers across West Africa, the pipeline will move up to 30 billion cubic meters of gas yearly, serving 13 coastal nations and linking landlocked states with Niger, Burkina Faso and Mali. It will also connect to the Maghreb-Europe pipeline, giving Nigerian gas direct access to Europe. According to Morocco's energy chief, Amina Beghandra, the new company will structure financing and oversee the project, with a final investment decision expected by the end of 2025. The pipeline has already attracted support from the European Investment Bank, Islamic Development Bank, OPEC Fund, and now the UAE. Governance will be shared among regional entities under ECOWAS oversight. With Togo recently joining as a partner, the project is seen as a game-changer for energy access in West Africa and a strategic export route for Nigeria. In the meantime, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPC, says the 3-day strike by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengassan, caused massive disruptions, wiping out 16% of daily oil output, 30% of marketed gas, and 20% of national power supply. Group Chief Executive Officer Bashar Ojulari disclosed in a letter to regulators that the action shut down terminals and gas plants, deferring 283,000 barrels of crude and 1.7 billion cubic feet of gas per day. He warned the standoff posed systemic risk to energy security and cash flow. The strike, triggered by a dispute between Pengassan and the Dangote refinery over mass transfers, sackings and welfare concerns, was suspended after government intervention. However, union leaders stressed the truce is temporary and warned they would resume action if agreements are breached. Moving on, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission says it recovered over 853 billion naira crime proceeds between 2023 and 2024, describing the feat as unprecedented in Nigeria's anti-graft history. The agency said the funds, which include 364.5 billion naira and $326.5 million, were recovered alongside strict monitoring of government intervention programs, such as the PLCNG scheme, NG Cares, NACA Global Fund, AMCON loans and CBN facilities. Within the same period, the EFCC received 15,724 petitions, investigated nearly 13,000, filed 5,081 cases, and secured 4,171 convictions, stressing that all recoveries were made under due process. The Commission said the figures reaffirmed its role in safeguarding national assets and boosting public confidence in Nigeria's anti-corruption fight. In other news, Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has dismissed all commissioners and public office holders in his administration following a recent Supreme Court judgment. His Chief Press Secretary, Nelson Chukudi, announced the decision on Wednesday in Port Harcourt, stating that it takes immediate effect. During a valedictory session with his cabinet, Fubara thanked the outgoing officials for their contributions over the past 2 years and reaffirmed his commitment to serve the state with a renewed vigor. The move comes weeks after the exit of Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas, who, during the emergency rule, had suspended Fubara's appointees and dissolved several boards. The State Assembly has since asked the governor to submit fresh commissioner nominees alongside the 2025 budget. Now we head over to business news. Nigeria paid $2.86 billion to service its external debt between January and August 2025, the Central Bank of Nigeria has revealed. This means that 7 out of every $10 the country spent abroad during the period went into debt repayment, leaving little room for import or investment. Though the figure is slightly lower than the $3.6 billion paid in the same period of 2024, debt servicing still dominates Nigeria's foreign expenses. Monthly payments were unstable, with big jumps and sharp drops. For example, in March 2025, debt service spiked to $632 million, more than double the previous year, while in May, it crashed to $231 million, far below 2024 levels. Credit ratings agency Fitch has warned that Nigeria's external debt bill will rise further to $5.2 billion in 2025, including a major $1.1 billion Eurobond repayment due to November. The agency also flagged weak revenue and high interest costs as key risks, noting that nearly half of the federal government's income goes into interest payments alone. Heading to the world of sport, Holy Saviours HS Football Club of Alimosho sealed the 2025 Independence Cup title with a dominant 3-0 victory over Hendricks FC at the Ikpaja Ayabo Youth Development Center in Nigeria's 65th Independence Day. Starman Damilola Pedro Akinyola backed 2 goals and an assist, earning both the tournament's top scorer, 7 goals, and MVP awards. Abidin also scored in the first half to put HS Family in control. Holy Saviours FC took home 600,000 naira prize money, while Hendricks received 400,000 naira and the Fair Play Award. Convener Bolaji Tiamiyu said the competition, launched in 2020, continues to spotlight grassroots talent, with past participants moving on to professional football. Despite finance challenges, Tiamiyu said the tournament remains a platform for youngsters to connect with clubs and agents. Still in the world of sport, several Nigerian players are set for fresh challenges as new basketball seasons tip off across the globe. Josh Okogie headlines the moves after joining the Houston Rockets as a free agent. The 26-year-old guard reunited with Kevin Durant and coach Ime Udoka will look to help the Rockets chase an NBA title. Caleb Agada switches to Spanish side for Calida after leading Libya's Al Hilli Tripoli to their first Basketball African League title earlier this year. The Tigers veteran Ezine Kalo has signed with Wuhan Shefan in China's WCBA, while teammate Mojanuta Musa joined French-side Basketlands after a brief WNBA stint with Phoenix Mercury. Meanwhile, Lauren Abel begins life in Spain with Juventud Badalona following an impressive run in Poland and Olympic action with Nigeria. From the NBA to Europe and Asia, Nigerian stars are set to shine bright in the 2025-2026 campaign. In the world of entertainment, Nigerian Afrobeat star Rema has been named among the 2025 Time 100 Next list of rising global influencers. This list, unveiled on Tuesday, celebrates trailblazers across music, sports, film, politics, and philanthropy. Rema's profile, written by Grammy winner Angelique Kidjo, praised his hit Calm Down, which has surpassed 2 billion streams and cemented Afrobeats on the world stage. Other Nigerians on the list include British Nigerian actor Damson Idris and Nigerian-American visual artist Toyin Odutola. International names such as Becky G, Tat McRae, Lamine Yamal, Jonathan Bailey and Lando Norris also featured. Time described the honorees as people who accomplished the extraordinary and are shaping the future. And that's all around the globe. Here are the main points. Israeli forces says 13 out of 48 boats heading to Gaza, detaining activists including Greta Thunberg and sparking international condemnation. Ukrainian drones have struck nearly half of Russia's major oil refineries since January. We also told you that the death toll from a 6.9 magnitude earthquake in Cebu has risen to 72. To end the news, for breaking news and eyewitness reports, please call 0703-043-7110 or you can send a message across all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok and here on YouTube, all at Aneke TV. I am Amaka Nleji. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimi Kemede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
The Federal Capital Territory, FCT, is a monumental city of edifice strategically designed to showcase the aesthetic beauty of a natural ambience, a land of opportunities often referred to as the center of unity. Abuja is the political hub of the nation, lying strategically at the center of Nigeria. It was officially designated as the capital in 1976, replacing Lagos, and formally became the seat of government in 1991. The decision to build Abuja was rooted in its central location, neutrality among Nigeria's diverse ethnic groups, and its vast land space, which made it perfect for expansion. Today, Abuja has grown into a well-planned, organized, and prestigious city that tells the story of Nigeria's unity and ambition. Early mornings in Abuja are alive with the buzzing sound of cars speeding through wide boulevards and flyovers. Porsche cars and executive luxury vehicles glide alongside long buses and motorcycles, painting a picture of a city where classes mix but remain distinct. It is a city where aristocrats, ruling elites and key players of the capitalist industry share the same roads with artisans, traders and ordinary Nigerians striving for daily survival. Yet, despite the aura of power, excellence and wealth, Abuja is uniquely human. It is not unusual to see a minister of the Federal Republic or a high-ranking official standing in line at a shopping mall, waiting to buy one or two things like everyone else. That blend of prestige and simplicity is part of what makes Abuja truly alive. As the center of unity, Abuja is home to people from every corner of the nation, hosting over 5 major ethnic languages and countless cultural groups. Each carries its cultural emblem and beliefs, all interwoven into the city's cosmopolitan fabric. Added to this is Abuja's international status. Embassies from nearly every nation in the world stand tall within its borders, making it not just Nigeria's capital, but also a diplomatic hub where cultures, politics, and global relations converge. The city's uniqueness is greatly seen in its structures and landmarks. Its skyline boasts the impressive NNPC Towers, the Golden Domed National Mosque, the World Trade Center, the City Gate, and the imposing Federal Secretariat. The Central Bank of Nigeria rises as a symbol of economic authority, while the National Assembly complex represents democracy in action. Justice is anchored at the Supreme Court, and other high courts and national pride gathers at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, a hub for global summits and national dialogues. These monumental structures scattered across the city give Abuja its distinctive blend of power, beauty, and modernity. Abuja's districts are carefully planned and speak volumes of its identity. Maitama is mapped out as a residential haven for the wealthy, top politicians, and high-profile individuals. Asokoro is equally affluent, hosting ministers, governors, and ambassadors. Katampe Extension and Gazupe Estate are fast-rising luxury neighborhoods with scenic landscapes, while areas like Garki, Wuse, and Area 11 estates blend commercial activities with residential living. Each zone tells its own story, yet all are tied together by the city's larger vision of order and beauty. Infrastructure is one of Abuja's strongest assets. Unlike many cities that grew without planning, Abuja was designed with foresight. Its broad highways are lined with greenery. Its roundabouts are often adorned with fountains and sculptures, and its flyovers make navigation seamless. The city gate stands as a welcoming symbol of pride, while routes leading to Aso Rock Presidential Villa reflect the seat of Nigeria's authority. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, travelers from across the world step into a city that is both modern and distinctly Nigerian. What makes Abuja special is not only its structures but also its spirit. It is a city where wealth and influence meet.
Enugu State is known for its rich culinary heritage, with various local government areas contributing their unique dishes and specialties. Some popular dishes across Enugu State include Okpa, a traditional Igbo dish made from Bambara groundnuts; Abacha, a popular Nigerian dish made from dried shredded cassava; Nkwobi, a spicy cow leg dish; Abobo or Fiofio, a porridge made from pigeon peas; Ofe Akwu, a traditional Nigerian soup made with palm fruits oil extract; Akpu, a traditional Nigerian food made from cassava tubers; Ogba, a traditional Nigerian food ingredient made from fermented oil bean seeds; Okwa, African breadfruit often used in traditional dishes; Oha soup, a traditional Nigerian soup made with oha leaves and cocoyam paste. And going over to the local government areas, we begin in an Inri local government area, which is known for the following cassava-based dishes: gari, fufu, and processed flakes; market-made snacks like the okpa, which is the Bambara nut cake; akara-style bean fritters, and palm oil-based salads. Ogu local government is known for its hearty soups and stews, pepper soup variants and goats and Newton preparations, staples, yam and cassava. Enugu's local government area is known for their special delicacy Nkwobi, Isiewu, spicy cow leg, and street foods like pepper soup and grilled fish, and packaged traditional foods like dried abacha flakes and pre-packed okpa. And Enugu North is known for markets and ceremonial foods like abacha, smoked fish, ogba, which is fermented oil bean, and roasted proteins. Enugu South is known for hospitality foods, which are abacha, okpa, nkwobi, okwa, and other southern Igbo staples. Ezeago is known for markets and ceremonial foods like abacha, smoked fish, oba, which is fermented oil bean, and roasted proteins. Enugu South is known for hospitality foods, which are abacha, okpa, nkwobi, okwa, and other southern Igbo staples. Ezeago also has the abacha and cassava-derived dishes, distinctive abacha preparations using dried and shredded cassava. Igbo Etiti local government is known for mixed staples like yam, cassava, and legumes with pigeon pea. They also have bean dishes like abobo, fiofio, and bean-based preparations. Igbo Eze North has rural produce like bambara nuts and cassava, as well as street breakfast items like okpa and akara. While Igbo Eze South has festive soups and cassava accompaniments like hearty soups and cassava derives like gari and fufu. In Isuzo local government area, the local government is known for highland crops like yam, tuber crops, and dried tuber dishes like variants, which is similar to achicha and abobo. Nkanu East also has the abacha styles and variants with different preparations using fresh native beans, fried ingredients, and local sauces of smoked fish. Nkanu West has yam and vegetable combos like festival dishes, combining tuber staples with special meat and seafood dressings. Nseka is known for their okpa, achicha, and abacha. They are widely reported as common local specialties, and they have the delicacy made with corn known as ayarayoka. Oji River is known for cassava-derived snacks, abacha ingredients. Okwa, smoked fish, and okpaka is known for trade hubs and market supply. Udenu is known for garden vegetables and accompaniments and dried tuber preparations like leafy green soups and dried tuber snacks. Udi local government is also known for cassava products and abacha, popular abacha preparations, and cassava-based products with various soups. Uzuwani local government area is known for riverine and food networks, which are the okwa, tubers such as yam and cassava, and vegetable soups with their various ways of preparation, and also their festival cooking, which is the locally caught fish and smoked proteins.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chinwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
The Federal Capital Territory, FCT, is a monumental city of edifice strategically designed to showcase the aesthetic beauty of a natural ambience, a land of opportunities often referred to as the center of unity. Abuja is the political hub of the nation, lying strategically at the center of Nigeria. It was officially designated as the capital in 1976, replacing Lagos, and formally became the seat of government in 1991. The decision to build Abuja was rooted in its central location, neutrality among Nigeria's diverse ethnic groups, and its vast land space, which made it perfect for expansion. Today, Abuja has grown into a well-planned, organized, and prestigious city that tells the story of Nigeria's unity and ambition. Early mornings in Abuja are alive with the buzzing sound of cars speeding through wide boulevards and flyovers. Porsche cars and executive luxury vehicles glide alongside long buses and motorcycles, painting a picture of a city where classes mix but remain distinct. It is a city where aristocrats, ruling elites, and key players of the capitalist industry share the same roads with artisans, traders, and ordinary Nigerians striving for daily survival. Yet, despite the aura of power, excellence, and wealth, Abuja is uniquely human. It is not unusual to see a minister of the Federal Republic or a high-ranking official standing in line at a shopping mall, waiting to buy one or two things like everyone else. That blend of prestige and simplicity is part of what makes Abuja truly alive. As the center of unity, Abuja is home to people from every corner of the nation, hosting over 5 major ethnic languages and countless cultural groups. Each carries its cultural emblem and beliefs, all interwoven into the city's cosmopolitan fabric. Added to this is Abuja's international status. Embassies from nearly every nation in the world stand tall within its borders, making it not just Nigeria's capital, but also a diplomatic hub where cultures, politics, and global relations converge. The city's uniqueness is greatly seen in its structures and landmarks. Its skyline boasts the impressive NNPC Towers, the Golden Domed National Mosque, the World Trade Center, the City Gate, and the imposing Federal Secretariat. The Central Bank of Nigeria rises as a symbol of economic authority, while the National Assembly complex represents democracy in action. Justice is anchored at the Supreme Court, and other high courts, and national pride gathers at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, a hub for global summits and national dialogues. These monumental structures scattered across the city give Abuja its distinctive blend of power, beauty, and modernity. Abuja's districts are carefully planned and speak volumes of its identity. Maitama is mapped out as a residential haven for the wealthy, top politicians, and high-profile individuals. Asokoro is equally affluent, hosting ministers, governors, and ambassadors. Katampe Extension and Gazupe Estate are fast-rising luxury neighborhoods with scenic landscapes, while areas like Garki, Wuse, and Area 11 estates blend commercial activities with residential living. Each zone tells its own story, yet all are tied together by the city's larger vision of order and beauty. Infrastructure is one of Abuja's strongest assets. Unlike many cities that grew without planning, Abuja was designed with foresight. Its broad highways are lined with greenery. Its roundabouts are often adorned with fountains and sculptures, and its flyovers make navigation seamless. The city gate stands as a welcoming symbol of pride, while routes leading to Aso Rock Presidential Villa reflect the seat of Nigeria's authority. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, travelers from across the world step into a city that is both modern and distinctly Nigerian. What makes Abuja special is not only its structures but also its spirit. It is a city where wealth and influence meet.
Beautiful morning to you, Nigeria. A special morning 042 and a very, very warm greetings to everyone tuned in. Thank you for joining us today. This is Sunrise on Aneke TV, your trusted voice every morning, shining light into your day. I'm Deborah Wakoba, coming to you live from our studio here in the vibrant heart of Enugu.
Good morning, and I hope you enjoyed your Independence Day celebration. I am Uche Osai. Wherever you are, at home, in your office, or in traffic. Thank you for letting us into your space this beautiful Thursday morning. As always, we're here to refresh, inform, and motivate.
Yes, and it's Thursday, October 2nd, 2025. So welcome to another day, another refreshing edition of Sunrise. And this morning, we've got everything you need from the latest news, detailed weather updates, trending stories, and our newspaper review, all wrapped up in that unique Sunrise touch to guide you smoothly into the day.
So, grab your cup of coffee or tea. Relax, set sail with us, because the sunrise is here.
Yes, and here on Sunrise this morning, we'll be kicking things off with our quote of the day. A spark of wisdom to inspire us, lift our spirits, fuel our creativity, and keep us well-driven as we take on the day.
And right after that, we'll bring you today's stories, newspaper headlines, major news breaks from across the world to keep you informed. We will serve this very hot and tasty.
Yes, and of course, don't forget, we've also got today's weather report for cities across the southeast. Just what you need to be ready, comfortable before heading out, or if you've head out, is to keep you through the rest of the day.
And later, we'll take you through today's celebrations or observance to lift your spirit.
Now, so today we'll be taking our quote of the day. And our quote of the day is coming from Mahatma Gandhi. And in his quote, he says, "Non-violence is not merely a negative state of harmlessness, but a positive state of love, of doing good even to the evildoer." I repeat that again. He says, "Non-violence is not merely a negative state of harmlessness, but a positive state of love, of doing good even to the evildoer." Gandhi is saying that non-violence is not just about avoiding harm or staying passive. It is not simply the absence of violence, anger, or hatred. Instead, it is an active force of love, compassion, and kindness. To Gandhi, true non-violence means going beyond, not hurting others, and it involves showing goodwill even to those who wrong us. So refusing to respond with hatred and instead seeking to transform them through love and understanding. So this quote reflects Gandhi's philosophy that love has the power to disarm hostility and bring about genuine change, whereas hatred and revenge only continue the cycle of violence. And in simple terms, what Gandhi is trying to teach us is that non-violence is not weakness or silence, it is active goodness, even towards those who do wrong.
All right. I suppose this quote today is in celebration of today's World Non-Violence Day celebration, and Mahatma Gandhi, all through his life, is known to preach non-violence. And from our quotes and the explanations you've given, we would understand that non-violence is not lacking that capacity or the ability to retaliate with more violence, with more energy, more anger. Rather, is the ability to conquer these devices, these negative vices, and be able to stand above the evil of anger, above the evil of hate. And for Mahatma Gandhi, throughout his life and what he has preached here, is telling us that non-violence is not mainly a negative state of harmlessness. You are not incapable. You are very much capable of meeting violence with violence, or even with a greater act of violence. But you chose non-confrontational approach. You chose to conquer your enemy, your tormentor, with that self-awareness of love. You are able to stand on the path of love to conquer hatred. This is the greatest act of self-discipline. And this is what Mahatma Gandhi is known for throughout his life, being that in his quest in leaving India out from there through self-rule, on the march or quest for independence for India, he chose not to confront their dominated rulers, the British and so forth and so on. Rather, he chose to walk the way of peace. For him, that peace, love can conquer any situation, unlike what we had in other nations where there were resistance to colonial rule. Rather, he preached and practiced. Even there are instances, videos where you see them being beaten with baton. They chose to stay, endure the pain, in order to win over their tormentors with non-engagement, non-retaliation, bear the pain, love the enemy more than you've loved any other creation of God. You see yourself in that person, and you know that whatever negativity that is mentored on you is not in itself a result of non-violence, using non-violence even in America for the blacks to re-establish themselves as human beings, be able to desegregate America. And in Africa, you will see Nelson Mandela being a student of Mahatma Gandhi as well, preaching non-violence, right?
Yeah.
So, for everyone and our audience, we should try as much as possible to use love to conquer hate, irrespective of circumstances, situations that you're facing. We know it could be very, very, very demanding, that you're being oppressed, perhaps at home, perhaps in your business or in the office, and you chose to love your tormentor. You know, it's one of the greatest acts of self-sacrifice that one can embark on. When abused verbally, he chose non-confrontational. But we are told today that this is the way to go.
It's just like saying, do not pay evil for evil.
Yes.
So whatever we do, like, don't retaliate with violence.
You remember the laws of Moses?
Yeah.
An eye for an eye.
Yeah,
When you slap me in one cheek, instead of turning the other one,
Well,
I slap you times 8. You understand?
There's this saying that came into my mind, an eye for an eye ends up making the world blind.
Everybody goes blind. Yes. So
Because if you try retaliating, everything escalates. Now, violence, paying violence with violence, actually, that's when
at the end of the day, anybody around you see will be one, maybe either one blinded, or
and
they have only one eye. And then think of the situation
yeah.
in the world today. Look at what is happening in Ukraine, Russia-Ukraine, right? Because somebody has not been able to master this act of non-confrontational, not meeting violence with violence, not applying or living for peace. And then for years now, Russia, Ukraine is in turmoil. Ukraine doesn't have a normal life again. Most of their, over 5 million of their citizens have moved to Poland because of the violence that is raging there. Then move over to Israel and Gaza. You see what is happening there.
Exactly.
And because of what? Violence.
Because of violence,
somebody is not able to live up to this
They're trying
demands.
to show who is in power.
Yes, like, it's meeting confrontation with confrontation.
Yes, when
so,
it means facing violence with violence, you're trying to show who is boss.
The world will be a
power,
better place if we can to the path of peace and not to meet confrontation with more violence and all that. And that's why we don't have peace in the world. Peace is eluding us. And a lot of fights. There are a whole lot of issues. We did talk about it the other day. There are a whole lot of issues that would be, settled when you refuse to engage.
Yes.
We talked about where somebody is shouting on you. The other day we were talking about peace. We were talking about peace in celebration of World Day of Peace.
Yes.
You understand? Where we mentioned a lot of ways to, de-escalate.
To
we talk about even walking away,
like
avoiding conflict and all that. Imagine the world would have been a better place if we all told this line.
Yes, that's true. Well, thank you very much for that. And please do not forget that every sunrise is a place, an opportunity for us to grow. It's an opportunity for us to try something exciting, learn something different, or simply enjoy the moment. We'll go on a short break, and up next will be the weather report.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakova. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obobina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
You're still watching Aneke TV. Stay tuned as we take a look at today's weather across major cities in the southeast.
Yeah, good morning, Orca. It's a cloudy start about 21 degrees Celsius. Expect morning rain, then clouds through midday. Rain may return in the afternoon. Temperatures will climb to around 26 to 27 degrees Celsius before cooling into the evening.
Hello, Enugu. The skies are cloudy this morning with showers late early morning and heavier rain mid-morning to early noon. Afternoon should see periods of cloud cover with possible showers again in the early evening. Highs near 28 to 29 degrees Celsius.
And good day at Abakaliki, starting off cloudy, turning to showers later in the morning. With rain tapering midday, skies partially clear in the afternoon before clouds return later. Highs may reach about 27 to 29 degrees Celsius.
And over to the jiving city of Owerri. Morning is cloudy with a cooler start around 22 degrees Celsius. Rain is expected from 10 a.m. through early afternoon. Then intermittent clouds later in the day. The highs will hover near 27 to 28 degrees Celsius.
And over to Umahia. The dawn begins with clouds around 22 degrees Celsius. Expect rain around 10 a.m. through afternoon, punctuated by cloudy intervals. The temperatures may climb to 28 to 29 degrees Celsius before tapering off in the evening.
Alright, so wherever you are in the southeast today, stay safe, be comfortable. Remember, rain or shine, we've got you covered, but keep your umbrellas handy. This is your weather report across major cities in the southeast. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chinwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. Well, today we're taking a look at the celebration. And today's celebration is the International Day of Non-Violence. And it is observed every year on October 2nd. And this date was chosen to honor the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, who was born 1869 to 1948. And is recognized globally as the leader of India's non-violent independence movement and the pioneer of the philosophy of ahimsa, which is non-violence. The United Nations officially established this day in 2007 through a resolution that highlights Gandhi's legacy and the importance of non-violence in achieving peace, justice, and freedom. And the aim of this day is to promote the philosophy of non-violence, which is encouraging individuals and nations to resolve conflict peacefully. Another aim of this day is to raise awareness of Gandhi's teachings about truth, tolerance, forgiveness, and peaceful resistance, like we saw in his quote earlier today. And another aim is to encourage global peace building through dialogue, compassion, and cooperation instead of aggression. And also to highlight love and active goodness as powerful alternatives to hatred, revenge, and violence. So this day reminds the world that peaceful means can create lasting change. And the International Day of Non-Violence is not only about remembering Gandhi, but also about reminding the world that peaceful resistance, compassion, and love are powerful tools to end justice and build a better society. So, like we said earlier in our quotes today about not paying violence with violence. So please let us know what you're celebrating. Tag us at Aneke TV across Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube, or call our phone number 070-3043-7110. We'll go on a short break and it's a bit newspaper review. You're still watching Sunrise on Aneke TV. So let's see what's making front page news today in the Nation Punch, Vanguard and the Guardian newspaper. Now on the Nation headlines, we have Governors renew pledge to speed up development in states. And in the Punch headline, we have Bengerson strike and NPC laments losses as unions halt actions. Now on the Vanguard headline, we have 2027 Amechi Obi Utomi Ezekwesili push to end courtroom democracy. And in the Guardian headline, we have leaders call for reforms on poverty, insecurity, fostering democracy. Now today we'll be starting our first paper with the Nation headline that says governors renew pledge to speed up development in states. So governors across Nigeria have reaffirmed their commitment to boost performance and accelerate development at the subnational level. They made this pledge during the 65th Independence Day celebrations in response to President Tinubu's call to wet the grass further, meaning to take governance closer to the people. Mr. Osha, I would like to know your take on this.
All right. The Nation is very explicit with that headline that in the governors, right?
Yeah.
Calling or pledging to make
to speed up development
in states. As a result of the October 1st celebration, and one may begin to ask, would it or does it take for us to know and pledge to do better in office with the celebration of independence? I think the governors, though expectedly on a day like that, should be a day of sober reflection for our leaders, for them to be able to retrospectively think and give solace to their actions. There are questions this occasion calls for. Have I been able to live up to my mandate? Have I lived up to my manifesto? Have I been fair to the people that elected me into this very office? How have I discharged my mandate? In this mood of sober reflections, retracing our steps as a nation, where we've been, where we are, and where we ought to be, these leaders realizing that at this point in our nation's history, that leadership is thrust upon them to pilot and steer this nation to greatness, would have to, retrospectively, like I said, ask themselves certain questions. Have I done better than the leaders of the past? My vision, my actions in office, is it in line with the founding fathers' vision for Nigeria? Now, getting into the subnationals, the governors now coming out to say or pledge to the citizens to raise their performance and to heed to the president's advice and call to wet, in the word of the president, wet the grass further. Wet the grass further. Now, one thing comes to mind. When I begin to make pledge to do better, it means one thing, and for that I celebrate the governors. They've realized that they've not done enough. Yes. People may want to argue that that speech was coming from a place of realizing, yes, we are doing more, but we will go higher. But I want to interpret it to mean that, yes, we are trying, we've not done well by you, but we are pledging to do better. Now, what does that give you? Why I celebrate them is the realization that you've not done enough for the masses that put you into office. And it takes a celebration like this for you to know that the grasses are dry and needs to be wetted further. Is an indictment on their part. And when I go through the speeches that were read out on the 1st of October, I do not see tangibles. I was not expecting, yes, though celebrations would happen at the subnationals, having cancelled the parade nationally, and then it happened at the subnational level. Yes, I expected to hear and see speeches. But what I was expecting is to see tangibles. Tell me what you've done for me. Tell me what you've done for us. So we're expecting the governors to come out and say, I met this economy at so and so percent. Look at the drivables, look at the tangibles. This is where we are at the moment. Now, it took October 1st for them to realize that they will accede to the call of Mr. President to wet the grass further. An indictment on itself to know that the people are suffering. The grass is dry because it's only in a dry land that you have to wet it. In the case of Israel, that is in the desert, had to create a technology for them to be able to farm in season and out of season. Technology that creates rainfall in order to wet the grass. So the governors telling us that they will accede to the president call for them to wet the grass further means that yes, the place has been dry. Despite the homogeneous amount that this administration is sharing amongst themselves, what is the impact on the people? Go across the states. Has this homogeneous amount, let me bring it home. As of 2007, even 2023, 2007 is far. 2023, this nation, the subnationals with the federal government shares about 700 billion. And by this year, in 2025, in fact, as at last month, August, right? As at August, we were told that they were sharing 2.2 trillion amongst the federal government and subnational, meaning that there is more funds available. And when there is more funds available, let me ask you a direct question. When you're earning triples, what happens? There's an improvement in your living, in your way of life. You begin to either upgrade your perfumes, you begin to upgrade, maybe change to a better cream, begin to change your wardrobe. Perhaps you may have to relocate from where you live, from your estate to a different estate. You may begin to think of living a rented apartment to your own apartment because your earning has improved. Now the question is, if as of 2003 we are sharing 700 billion and compare to 2025 we are sharing 2.2 trillion, the question now is, has that impacted on the people's life? Has it? These are the questions for the governors to answer themselves. So let's do away with rhetorics. Let's be practical with governance. These roads in your state, are they motorable? How many of the states, when you go around the federation, have motorable roads? Is there a connection between the rural dwellers and city dwellers in your state? What is health care like in your state? What is security? How do we assess your impact as regards security? A number of times we want to blame the federal government when it comes to security. But what have you done? We've seen governors, we've seen some states getting vehicles, up to 400 vehicles, to assist the Joint Task Force to improve security. We've seen, for example, in the case in Enugu State, where there is a command and control center domiciled in the government house, where the government is able to assess what happens in the state security-wise. When you go through the state, you will see a vehicle marked DSR positioned in places, making sure that there is security. These are commendable efforts. But can we say same of all the states in the federation? So, yes, October 1st is a day for us to reflect and equally make promises. But my happiness in this is that the governors and the subnationals are no longer holding the federal accountable, which was the case in years back. As of 2003, going backwards, you will see subnationals blaming the federal a number of issues. But I'm happy that at this point in time, the subnationals are giving kudos to the federal government. They've made more funds available. Then what's holding you back? So I'm happy that they are pledging to do better.
Yes,
And they should do better. They have no choice because they campaigned for these very positions. I understand and I know that nobody was pleaded with. Nobody. There's no office holder, no governor anywhere. No senator anywhere, for example, no local government chairman or a councillor that you see people go to their house with kegs of palm wine to go and play with them. If you do not govern us, we will be eroded with starvation or poverty or anything. No. They deliberately stood up, went and purchased the form from their political party, stood for primaries, went into the election, and were elected for. So, they sought for the office, and they should discharge every expectations of that office diligently. It should not be an issue of rhetoric. It should be seen to have been implemented. The basics is to at least implement your own manifesto for the people. So at the end of the day, the onus is on the citizens to be able to assess their governors. Have they done well? Have they lived up to their manifesto? And indeed, if done that, then kudos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for that. Now we'll be moving over to our second paper coming from the Punch headline that says, Pengassan strike and NPC lament losses as union holds actions. This refers to the industrial action by the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, Pengassan, over the dismissal of over 800 workers by Dangote Refinery, many of whom were unionized. So the National Petroleum Corporation and NPC has expressed regret over losses incurred due to the union's halt of production or supply chains. I would like to know your take on this issue on behalf concerning NPC.
Debbie, what more can we talk about this? We've exhausted this issue over time, but if we have to do justice to this issue, let's be happy and celebrate that the strike action has been suspended.
Yes, it has been suspended.
I think that's what we should be celebrating. Talking about NNPC lamenting about losses and all that, as a result of that, yes, that's what we've been saying. We've exhausted this on this studio. We've talked about the losses, the gains, and all that. But are there really true gains from this? The only gains for me from here is, at the end of the day, if all parties will respect the agreement that they've entered into through the intervention of the federal government, let's not see that Dangote has reneged from this very agreement.
Yeah.
Let's not tomorrow we'll see Pengassan or Nupeng calling for another strike action, because we are told
not keeping to the
agreement.
Yeah.
So we would expect the only gain I will see here is that let the right of workers to be respected, right? If the actual thing, because remember, I did say there could be underlying factors that are driving these issues, right? Being that Dangote is a private enterprise, we've seen Nupeng with Dangote, we've seen Pengassan with Dangote. Tomorrow, who else are we going to see? Perhaps National Union of Road Transport Workers. What else are we going to witness tomorrow? So that's why I call and say that the celebration here is that the strike is suspended. Because according to their chairman or the president of Pengassan, what they've done is what? Suspend the strike. That they've not called it off. That is a suspension. And according to him, that this suspension is them, Pengassan, taking a high moral ground in respect to federal institution, respect for constituted authority, and respect for government efforts to see that this issue is resolved. That not because they have confidence, no, that they are suspending the strike is not a show of confidence on Dangote Refinery to keep to agreement, but they've chosen to toe a high moral ground, see to it, wait, it's like what you say, sit down, they look. Yes, they've taken a sit down, they look approach, hoping that Dangote would surprise them this time around by keeping to the tenets of this agreement, which they are saying they are not very sure he would. But if he does, and that's what we call for this morning, that they respect the tenets of whatever agreement that has been entered into. But in as much I say that, let it not be that there are underlying issues that we are not being told.
Yeah.
Let it not be that some people are politicking, wanting to stop Dangote from achieving the aim of making profit from his investments,
Okay.
or that they are seeing it that Dangote has come in and is taking the jobs away from their hands, and then they are beginning to fight back.
Yeah.
We hope that this is not it. We hope that these whole actions are for the good of the common man, for the good of Nigerian workers who have unionized, and that the union is trying in sincerity to protect their interest. Because going forward, you will discover that a lot of persons have accused Pengasson that their interest is here is what they call check-off dues, that will come from these workers who have joined the union. Though Pengasson, in fairness to them, have come out to counter that, to say that what are they going to derive from the check-off dues from these 800 workers, as to compare what their members in ExxonMobil and other multinational oil companies are making, that what they will get from them is nothing to write home about. Which is why I say I hope that this is all in national interest for the good of the common Nigerian worker. Yeah, we're talking about losses this time around. Definitely, you and I know that there will be losses.
Yes,
a lot of losses. I wouldn't even want to look at it from the angle the NNPC chairman, CEO, is coming from Ojulari. From the figures he read out, I want to see the losses from bottom up. Okay. Nobody has come out to tell us what the common man on the streets has lost.
Yeah.
A lot of
those
persons,
workers, yeah.
Yes, this 3-day action has cost some people their meal. Exactly. There are people who missed a meal because of this action.
That's true.
There are transporters who rely on their daily income to meet a certain target, who have either took their vehicle, their tricycle on hire purchase, and had to remit daily. And then whatever surplus they get, they used to feed their family. And we know that some of them may not be able to access petrol to function. So some people have lost their meal for the day. There are hospitals, institutions that did not get power supply. As a result, some persons may have suffered more pain in the hospitals.
Yeah.
So these are the losses. There are places where transportation fares has gone a little bit higher than what it was used to because of this 3-day warning action. Right? Yeah. So these are, from bottom up, you see that there are lots of losses, but from the perspective of the CEO of NNPCL, Ojulari, he is saying that, yes, about 16% of oil production and 30% of marketed gas losses were incurred as a result of this industrial action, warning strike, and that about 20% of power supply were cut off. There were shortfall in all that. So when you take account of all this, remember that some of the Pengassons are affiliated organization and stuff down tools. So the supplies were cut off and all that. Yeah, so this is what is after. In all, Nigeria has lost. Give or take. When we bring it together, Nigeria has lost. Yes, it's not just NNPCL and all that power supply. When you check it all over, we've lost a homogeneous amount. Even going forward, further to his report to the National Security Advisor and all that, you would see where he mentioned that a NNPC cargo vessel that was being loaded, you understand, that was almost full, ready to get necessary papers to disembark and move for delivery, was stored as a result of this action. So when you bring it all in, Debbie, I can tell you that in all, Nigeria is the greatest loser, which is why you remember that in all this, I blamed Nigeria. Mark the word, Nigeria. So the question will be, who is Nigeria?
We are Nigerians. Okay, thank you very much for that. Now moving over to the next paper coming from Vanguard that says 2027 Obi Amechi Ezekwesili orders demand sweeping to electoral reforms. And the core argument is that prominent individuals like Peter Obi, Rotimi Amechi, Obi Ezekwesili, Pat Utomi, and amongst others are calling for reforms to prevent Nigerians' democracy from being decided in the courts rather than at the ballot box. They argue that since 2015, Nigerians' electoral gains have ended as eroded, especially given controversial judicial rulings that hinge on technicalities rather than the substantive will of the people. I'd like to know your take on this.
What is democracy?
What
is democracy if the vote and the will of the people does not reflect from an election?
Okay.
That's simply what Amechi, Obi, Utomi, and Obi Ezekwesili are saying. Not just them. There are a lot of Nigerians, and I bet you, even you, a lot of persons are saying, come, we want our vote to count. Right?
Yeah.
We want our vote to count. If you go around and take a survey, a whole lot of Nigerians are of the view that their vote doesn't count.
Yeah.
A number of times when we interact with people, you ask, why is it that you don't want to participate in election, in voting, and all that? You hear, why do I waste my time when my vote will not count? Right? That's what people would always say. So as a result of that, seeing calls like this coming from Amechi, Pato Tomi, Obi Ezekwesili, and Peter Obi, and all that. And the rest, even Atiku, going forward, even the sitting president today, at one point or the other, equally echoed the same thing. Yes, go back, check the governor, the president speeches over time. You will see a point where he was equally calling for a better democracy, a democracy where votes will count, because this is what it's all about. What they are talking about, having a democracy, you understand, a real democracy is where people's votes really count. What do we have, according to their quest or call, is that since 2015 to date, we've had situations where the judiciary are the one electing our officers. Is no longer a situation where the electoral process ends with INEC. Rather, when INEC is done calling out the supposed winners, they will tell whoever is aggrieved to go to court. And is that the right way to go? Where we would have to not trust in the agency giving that privilege and the right to conduct our election. What is INEC? Independent National Electoral Commission, meaning that they are, one, independent, two, they are national, and if they are independent, they have authority to see to it that our election is reliable and trustworthy. And if it's national, means that they are everywhere and should be naturally and justifiably accepted by every Nigerians. Their words should be seen to be sacrosanct. But a situation where there is doubt, trust issues, begins to tell you that there are greater issues at play here. But the greater emphasis is, why have our elections, yes, we know we've journeyed from 1999, our return to democracy to date. Some may argue that ballot snatching is no longer as prevalent as it was in 1999, where during election is like war cry, where you will see people begin to live. For example, you begin to see tribal migration, where, for example, Easterners domiciled in the north will begin to move towards the east, and you see Southwesterners domiciled in the east begin to move back to the west. So some may argue that we've moved away from that, but why have we moved into even a greater malaise, where the judiciary are the one who decide who wins or who goes into office, where INEC will tell us go to the court, and where we'll see interpretations that people are beginning to shout that they are questionable, where we've seen where the court decided that somebody who came last or fought in an election ends up becoming a governor. And people are saying, how did we arrive at such a judgment? It happens. We've seen where the court has decided a lot of issues. Even the present federal administration that we have was decided upon by the courts. And we are saying that democracy is not a government of the people by the judiciary for the people. No, it's a government of the people that is seen to be what? For the people. And pro-people. Simply put, this is what we call government by accredited representative. If you don't have that accreditation, if you don't have that reputation of having the people's mandate, whatever you will do throughout that tenure will be called to question. And that's what's happening in Nigeria. Remember, I can categorically cite certain individuals who have refused to date to recognize this very government on the premise that it was the judiciary that trusted them upon Nigeria, not because they won the election, though their opinion. But like I always say, whoever that should go to equity with clean hands. If a leader is going to emerge in such a way that it will be agreed by all. Yes, this person won the election, and not the courts calling us or telling us that interpreting what they assume to be. Because the courts we are not in the field is reported or what they were given that they will decide upon. But INEC that is in the field should be accountable. That's what this call is for. INEC should be accountable for whatever happens. And going forward, how many persons have INEC come out to prosecute anybody? We always see INEC siding the lines of those who they've proclaimed winners, irrespective of what transpired at the field, whatever the opposing party is bringing to the table. INEC will always take the side of whatever they've read out as election results. So these outcries are for us to have an electoral reform. An electoral reform that will see that things are done the proper way. Let us know what the modalities for an elections are. Not a situation where new modalities come out after the election. Let us know the yardstick for conducting an election. If you tell us that we are going to use beavers, then let it be law that any result that is not emanating from beavers is not acceptable. If we are going to use option A4, let it be known across Nigeria that what we are going to use is option A4. In the area of technology, one would expect and should expect that by now INEC has a better technology that would help ensuring transparency in our election, and they should follow suit with that. It's as if when you're giving the by-election that has happened, the off-season election that we've had, you will see that it's as if we're returning to 1999 election formats, where elections are done manually. Why are we returning to that era? This is an INEC that has conducted an election that this whole nation has come out to give a thumbs up, retrogressing. Why is that? So this cause by this eminent individual is quite germane, and the call for electoral reform can no longer be overflowed. It's quite time that we'll have a genuine, sincere electoral reform that is encompassing, that will ensure trust and accountability from the part of INEC, reliability on the part of opposition political party. And until we have that, I will tell you that our elections will be mired with crisis. Yes. So all this cause is germane. And in Nigeria celebrating 65, these are one of the issues that will have to be seen to be resolved. So that when we turn 66, let's say that it's been resolved, I will no longer see headlines like this for more prominent individuals. I can bet you and I can tell you categorically that if we don't resolve these issues, 5 years from today, 2031, you may see other names different from Amechi, Obi, and co. calling for the same thing. This shouldn't be the case. So we should see to it that, yes, when the president tells us that the worst is over, let it be that the worst is equally over on electoral reform.
Okay, thank you very much. So we're urging the federal government, or rather also the INEC, that there should be transparency and not everything being decided by the courtroom, since democracy is for the people. Now moving over to our next headline from the Guardian headline that says, leaders call for reforms on poverty, insecurity, faltering democracy. And this headline is reporting that widespread calls from political, religious and civic leaders demanding structural reforms in Nigeria as the nation marks 65 years of independence. And the key demands and observations are where leaders warn that poverty is deepening and many Nigerians are struggling under economic policies that have increased cost of living. And also there's the matter of insecurity, which remains a major concern with attacks, kidnapping and banditry undermining development and safety. I would like to know your take on this headline that says leaders call for reforms on poverty, insecurity, fostering democracy.
All right. Given that we are still in celebrative mood, it's our 65 year as a nation. We've covered a milestone. It's a reflective period, and calls like this from leaders is not unexpected, right? Yes. We expect them to call for reforms, and we as a nation, we expect to see improvement. We don't expect to see us being stagnant, like witnessing the same issues that plagued us as a nation when we were 60. At 65, we expect that we have done better, more than what was obtainable 5 years ago. And today at 65, seeing Nigerian leaders, eminent leaders, calling for reforms in areas of poverty, security, and all that, even in democracy, is not unexpected. But when we take a greater look at it, for me, this shouldn't be the issue of, because when you go back, you will see that over the years, you will see leaders, opposing leaders more especially, flogging any government in power. Like I did mention, if you go back, go to the archives and see, you will see even the present administration on a day like this, on periods like this, flogging the ruling government to do better, calling for reforms here and there. It shouldn't be a mantra that we embark on. We should appreciate whatever government has done, acknowledge what they've done, then encourage them to do more. It shouldn't be because you're in opposition, you wouldn't see anything good in what government has done. No. Why you acknowledge that they are trying, that there more is needed, acknowledge them for that. And then, not just calling for changes, for improvement, profile solution. What are you bringing to the table? And this we have issues with a number of them. Now, when I take a critical look at that, for example, I am not trying to say no, but what I'm saying is, for example, who are these leaders? If they are leaders, yes, granted, these are our leaders. They have been at the helm of affairs at one point in time or the other. So, cite for us from your own example what you did while you were there. So, when you critique, profile solution. Don't stop at critiquing a sitting government. Profile solution. Tell them where they've gone wrong. Then point them to what they should do to remedy the situation. My issue is that criticism should not just be for the sake of it, but should have solutions, workable solutions for that. For example, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, in his speech, said acceptably that the reality of citizens is in contradiction from what this government claims. Granted. But former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, I ask, was once a vice president in this nation. What was it like during their tenure? What happened? Did they do better? Or are we still seeing same tendencies? This is where I raise it. So going beyond telling us that the reality of Nigerians, which is very germane, I give it to him. Yes, the reality of Nigerians when you interact and ask questions could be contradictory depending on every individual, what every individual feels and witnesses. But the issue is, what solutions do you have on ground? Your solution shouldn't be only when you're campaigning for an office you give us. You should be able to advise the government because you're an elder statesman too.
And you also, I think you're also partaking from the country.
We are all responsible. You are Nigerians. It shouldn't be only when you're in government that seems to work. That's my position on that. But given the calls they've made, yes, are these calls germane? Yes. But my question is, for example, let me take the opposition leaders, for example, who, yes, who love what they do. They have to put the government on their toes. But the likes of Mr. P2B, the likes of Atiku Abubakar, the likes of Rotimi Amechi, the chairman of ADC, former Senate President David Mark, former governor of Sokoto State, Alhaji Tambuwa, the former governor of Kaduna State. I think these are the opposition figures. Arebo Shola, what did you do while you were in office? Did you leave the space better than you meet it? These are the questions. So it shouldn't be opposition for the sake of opposition. Yes, we know that these governments, we can't give them 100%. But the point here is that it shouldn't all be criticism all the time. Point them to order. Let's see solutions, practical, workable solutions. Not critiquing every time. We know that it's the job of the opposition to keep government in check, but give kudos where they've done well. Yes, I for one, I do not give this government a pass mark. I may not score them 70, but I commend them where they've made wonderful strides, and that's what I expect on a day like this. There are days when, yes, though we will have to, be retrospective and all that, but there are days that we'll have to celebrate. Yeah. Yes, in as much as we'll say that the nation has retrogressed, there is decay, given where our founding fathers took us from and where they were taking us from. A lot of analysts have made us realize what Nigeria was when it was working for everybody and what it is now. Granted, but where are we headed as a nation? The leaders, are you pointing us to the right direction where we need to be? And I must tell you that all these leaders are those who have enjoyed the best of Nigeria. What are they leaving for future Nigerians? Granted that a certain Nigerians have suffered a whole lot of injustice, being that Nigeria has not worked for them, being that the way Nigeria has functioned has made them lose faith in this nation, giving rise to what we know as the Japa syndrome. A lot of our young ones, intelligent, talented, hardworking youths are running away from this country because our leaders has failed them. Without exception. Yes. However, when I look at their cause on economic reforms, are they germane? Yes. I, for one, agree that this government is overtaxing Nigerians. I am against the introduction of 5% petroleum tax that will take effect from January. I, for one, I oppose it. I do not see why the suffering masses will have to pay more. For me, the poor are subsidizing the rich in Nigeria, and it shouldn't be that way. So, in the area of economic reforms, yes, I feel that our reforms should have a human face. And that's when I see this government, that's what I will tell them. And that's what I tell them daily. That reforms, though good, but should have a human face. Now, talking about economic reforms, we realize that we've removed subsidy. And we are celebrating the fact that it has made more funds available, the more funds which are now given to subnationals to use and effect wet the grass further. But we argued, instead of giving this money to subnationals to wet the grass further, the money realized should have been used to set certain standards, plug this money in a certain place that are measurable, where we would say, okay, given the period of 2023 and 2027, like these are the deliverables, these are the measurables realized from money saved from subsidy. Let's say you are targeting health sector, that the money you realize from savings from removing petroleum subsidy will be used to tackle the challenges of health sector in Nigeria. And then they are measurable. By 4 years, we'll be able to say, okay, this is what we've achieved in area of health sector. Okay, next, let's face education, that we are taking this money saved from removal of subsidy to tackle the problems, issues with our education system. Go take a look. You'll see that there are more and more out-of-school children. In as much as we want to say we have a lot of reforms in education, but go and check the number of out-of-school children. What are we doing in that regard? So, the other way around, when we call for reforms and all that, yes, that area is quite germane, that the government should go back to the drawing board and look at their reforms again. Then, talking about electoral reforms, we've given more talks on that. There has to be electoral reform.
Yeah.
There has to be laws that will be seen to be very, very germane, very accurate, that both the opposition, the ruling party, and the citizens would say, yes, these reforms, these laws are reliable and trustworthy and can effect change. What are people clamoring for? People are clamoring for a situation where their vote will count from the constituency level, from the ward level to the federal level. When you cast your vote for a certain individual, let it be the same vote that will be announced from INEC. You know, when you take a look backwards, you would recall what happened in Abia State. It was a fight, but who had an umpire in Abia State who stood her ground. Somebody named Akalo there stood her ground and insisted that this is what the votes are. And today, Abians are enjoying the dividends of that very action. Everybody everywhere, she has won a lot of awards. People commend her. And the citizens are saying, yes, this is who we voted for, and we are enjoying the dividends. I recently saw a review where some persons, while interviewed, were asking that they don't know what any other person will be coming to contest against the governor in come 2027. You see that the people are happy, they are enjoying the dividends of democracy, and that's what is obtainable when votes count. Citizens will be happy, there won't be apathy like we're seeing in southeastern Nigeria these days. So in the area of terrorism, going by the reforms that these leaders are calling from, what have we achieved in terms of security? How are we losing more lives than before? So these are the issues that we have to check. What are we doing to restore peace across the federation? So yes, when they call for reforms that this government should do enough, they are in order. When we say that the country should take a part of ensuring justice for all, is a nice call. Yes, the fact that we're saying that these leaders, you understand, should provide solution doesn't mean that we are saying that their calls are not germane. No. So this government should be able to go back to the drawing board, look at all these calls, and make amendments in their policies to carry every citizen along, right? And see to it that the right policies are in place. And at the end of the day, my call is on our leaders. Every of their action should be pro-people, should be pro-masses, should be pro-citizens. And I did ask, it should be for Nigeria. Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that. Well, like you rightfully said, actually, we are all responsible for the reformation of Nigeria, even as leaders and citizens. Please do not forget that you can grab your physical copies from any of your favorite vendor or catch the paper online for more information. And also don't forget to follow us on our Instagram handles like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all at Aneke TV. And don't forget to call our phone number 07030437110. And it's a wrap on today's edition of Sunrise. It's always a pleasure having you on our show, and it's always a pleasure waking up with us every morning. I'm Deborah Wakuba.
And I'm Uche Osai. Before we sign off, do well to join us tomorrow, as we'll be having a veteran joining us tomorrow to analyze the President's Independence Day speech. Until that, stay bold, be unique, and keep watching Aneke TV till we come your way same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Vebra Wakoba. I am Chidimike Mede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chinwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
The Federal Capital Territory, FCT, is a monumental city of edifice strategically designed to showcase the aesthetic beauty of a natural ambience, a land of opportunities often referred to as the center of unity. Abuja is the political hub of the nation, lying strategically at the center of Nigeria. It was officially designated as the capital in 1976, replacing Lagos, and formally became the seat of government in 1991. The decision to build Abuja was rooted in its central location, neutrality among Nigeria's diverse ethnic groups, and its vast land space, which made it perfect for expansion. Today, Abuja has grown into a well-planned, organized, and prestigious city that tells the story of Nigeria's unity and ambition. Early mornings in Abuja are alive with the buzzing sound of cars speeding through wide boulevards and flyovers. Porsche cars and executive luxury vehicles glide alongside long buses and motorcycles, painting a picture of a city where classes mix but remain distinct. It is a city where aristocrats, ruling elites, and key players of the capitalist industry share the same roads with artisans, traders, and ordinary Nigerians striving for daily survival. Yet, despite the aura of power, excellence, and wealth, Abuja is uniquely human. It is not unusual to see a minister of the Federal Republic or a high-ranking official standing in line at a shopping mall, waiting to buy one or two things like everyone else. That blend of prestige and simplicity is part of what makes Abuja truly alive. As the center of unity, Abuja is home to people from every corner of the nation, hosting over 5 major ethnic languages and countless cultural groups. Each carries its cultural emblem and beliefs, all interwoven into the city's cosmopolitan fabric. Added to this is Abuja's international status. Embassies from nearly every nation in the world stand tall within its borders, making it not just Nigeria's capital, but also a diplomatic hub where cultures, politics, and global relations converge. The city's uniqueness is greatly seen in its structures and landmarks. Its skyline boasts the impressive NNPC Towers, the Golden Domed National Mosque, the World Trade Center, the City Gate, and the imposing Federal Secretariat. The Central Bank of Nigeria rises as a symbol of economic authority, while the National Assembly complex represents democracy in action. Justice is anchored at the Supreme Court, and other high courts, and national pride gathers at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, a hub for global summits and national dialogues. These monumental structures scattered across the city give Abuja its distinctive blend of power, beauty, and modernity. Abuja's districts are carefully planned and speak volumes of its identity. Maitama is mapped out as a residential haven for the wealthy, top politicians, and high-profile individuals. Asokoro is equally affluent, hosting ministers, governors, and ambassadors. Katampe Extension and Gazupe Estate are fast-rising luxury neighborhoods with scenic landscapes, while areas like Garki, Wuse, and Area 11 estates blend commercial activities with residential living. Each zone tells its own story, yet all are tied together by the city's larger vision of order and beauty. Infrastructure is one of Abuja's strongest assets. Unlike many cities that grew without planning, Abuja was designed with foresight. Its broad highways are lined with greenery. Its roundabouts are often adorned with fountains and sculptures, and its flyovers make navigation seamless. The city gate stands as a welcoming symbol of pride, while routes leading to Aso Rock Presidential Villa reflect the seat of Nigeria's authority. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, travelers from across the world step into a city that is both modern and distinctly Nigerian. What makes Abuja special is not only its structures but also its spirit. It is a city where wealth and influence meet.
Conflict is normal, but violence is not. Disagreements, handled with respect, lead to growth, not destruction. Learn to listen, not just argue. Peaceful resolution is a sign of maturity.
Yes, Nigeria is, I would say, is now aged to be able to take care of her citizens. But the unfortunate underlying word is that people are not finding it funny. Myself, I'm not finding it very funny. So there should be a change for good, and for the betterment of all Nigerians.
Like at this stage?
We have to improve on a lot of things. I mean, there should be, they should develop their institutions. The institutions should start working. I mean, in administration. Let the executive work, let the judiciary be independent, let the legislatures also take their good positions and do the rightful things. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Can you please tell us your name, sir?
Chinedu Amadi.
Can you please tell us how you feel about Nigeria celebrating independence tomorrow?
Yeah, 65 years. Yes, it's a welcome development, and I think that the time is right for us to unite. Like our logo says, unity, peace, and progress. We the citizens, I think we need a reorientation, you know, love and respect for one another, not blaming the politicians. Everything is on the public sector. I believe also we in the private sector need to help the public sector people to be the best they can be. Thank you.
It's only one way. When we start telling each other the truth, that is just the thing. You understand? For now, I don't think anything is working. You get? The electoral system is fucked up and everything. Nothing is working in Nigeria. That's just my own understanding. Thank you very much.
2025, we are 65 years, right? It's a great privilege to be a Nigerian, the giant of Africa. Happy and shout out to every Nigerian citizen, no matter what we are going through. We believe that it will be well again. Yes, whatever it is, we are still the greatest and giant country in the whole Africa. Happy independence, everyone. Happy independent Nigeria.
Dedication is doing your best, even when no one is watching. It is the quiet force behind every masterpiece and every breakthrough. With consistency and focus, you don't just chase excellence, you become it. Stay dedicated, the results will speak.
Enugu State is known for its rich culinary heritage, with various local government areas contributing their unique dishes and specialties. Some popular dishes across Enugu State include Okpa, a traditional Igbo dish made from Bambara groundnuts; Abacha, a popular Nigerian dish made from dried shredded cassava; Nkwobi, a spicy cow leg dish; Abobo or Fiofio, a porridge made from pigeon peas; Ofe Akwu, a traditional Nigerian soup made with palm fruits oil extract; Akpu, a traditional Nigerian food made from cassava tubers; Ogba, a traditional Nigerian food ingredient made from fermented oil bean seeds; Okwa, African breadfruit often used in traditional dishes; Oha soup, a traditional Nigerian soup made with oha leaves and cocoyam paste. And going over to the local government areas, we begin in an Inri local government area, which is known for the following cassava-based dishes: gari, fufu, and processed flakes; market-made snacks like the okpa, which is the Bambara nut cake; Akara-style bean fritters, and palm oil-based salads. Ogo local government is known for its hearty soups and stews, pepper soup variants and goats and Milton preparations, staples, yam and cassava. Enugu's local government area is known for their special delicacy, nkwobi, isiewu, spicy cow leg, and street foods like pepper soup and grilled fish, and packaged traditional foods like dried abacha flakes and pre-packed okpa. And Enugu North is known for markets and ceremonial foods like abacha, smoked fish, ogba, which is fermented oil bean, and roasted proteins. Enugu South is known for hospitality foods, which are abacha, okpa, nkwobi, okwa, and other southern Igbo staples. Ezeago is known for markets and ceremonial foods like abacha, smoked fish, ogba, which is fermented oil bean, and roasted proteins. Enugu South is known for hospitality foods, which are abacha, okpa, nkwobi, okwa, and other southern Igbo staples. Ezeago also has the abacha and cassava-derived dishes, distinctive abacha preparations using dried and shredded cassava. Igbo Etiti local government is known for mixed staples like yam, cassava, and legumes with pigeon pea. They also have bean dishes like abobo, fiofio, and bean-based preparations. Igbo Eze North has rural produce like bambara nuts and cassava, as well as street breakfast items like okpa and akara. While Igbo Eze South has festive soups and cassava accompaniments like hearty soups and cassava derives like gari and fufu. In Isuzo local government area, the local government is known for highland crops like yam, tuber crops, and dried tuber dishes like variants, which is similar to achicha and abobo. Nkanu East also has the abacha styles and variants with different preparations using fresh native beans, fried ingredients, and local sauces of smoked fish. Nkanu West has yam and vegetable combos like festival dishes, combining tuber staples with special meat and seafood dressings. And Nseka is known for their okpa, achicha, and abacha. They are widely reported as common local specialties, and they have the delicacy made with corn known as ayarayoka. Oji River is known for cassava-derived snacks, abacha ingredients, okwa, smoked fish, and okpaka. Is known for trade hubs and market supply. Udenu is known for garden vegetables and accompaniments and dried tuber preparations like leafy green soups and dried tuber snacks. Udi local government is also known for cassava products and abacha, popular abacha preparations and cassava-based products with various soups. Uzuwani local government area is known for riverine and food networks, which are the okwa, tubers such as yam and cassava, and vegetable soups with their various ways of preparation, and also their festival cooking, which is a locally caught fish and smoked proteins.
October 1, 1960 marked the end of British colonial rule in Nigeria and the new era of a sovereign nation under a new constitution with a federal system of government. The long-awaited independence was the result of years of nationalist struggles, fights, and pain, championed by leaders such as Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Alhaji Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, and Alhaji Ahmadu Bello. For Nigerians at the time, independence symbolized total freedom from the shackles of colonialism, political continuity, and the promise of a better tomorrow. 65 years later, however, many still ask, how free is Nigeria really?
Political independence may have been achieved in letters, but the chain of neocolonialism remained clearly evident. Economic dependence on foreign powers, reliance on imported goods, and dominance of multilateral corporations continue to weaken home industries. As one political analyst put it, Nigeria may have raised her own flag in 1960, but her economy is still tied to foreign strains. It was the 19th century German philosopher Karl Marx who posited, "The quagmires of capitalism deepens inequality. While a wealthy few enjoy the nation's vast resources, millions face poverty, unemployment, inflation, and poor social services." A cross-section of Enugu residents spoke on the country's achievements and flaws since independence.
For 60-something years, I think Nigeria should have been beyond where it is now. Of course, a lot of successes here and there, but every Nigerian will agree with me that we should have gone beyond where we are now. And particularly in the areas of national cohesion, it's very unfortunate that having gone through all that we went through as a nation, we are still struggling with cohesion. People see themselves, not as Nigerians, but first and foremost from their primordial perspectives. Yes, it's good for us to recognize that if you're from the South, well, I'm from the South. If you're an Igbo man, you say I'm an Igbo man. If you're Yoruba, you say you are Igbo. If you're Efik, Hausa, Fulani, yes, it's normal to say so. But I think, those things shouldn't mask the fact that we are Nigerians. Because at the end of the day, when we go beyond the shores of this country, nobody wants to know whether you are Igbo, you are Efik, you are Yoruba, you are Hausa, Fulani, or you are Edo. They call you Nigerians.
Nigerians, a happy Independence Day celebration. So far, we have not done too well. And it's not because of the lack of God's gift to our country. We have had, and we still have, abundant mineral resources, more than many nations of the world, whether it is oil or gas or other minerals, including even gold. But instead of the oil bringing us good, it has brought us evil. It has become the only way to grow the economy. There is obviously no other way that this country is growing her economy. Every other thing that shall be added to our GDP are largely unexploited.
Despite these demerits, Nigeria has made remarkable achievements. Over the years, the country has played a pertinent role in African liberation struggles, peacekeeping operations, and the restoration of democratic rule in troubled nations. Its cultural influence in music, film, and literature has also placed the country firmly on the global terrain. Still, the flaws cannot be ignored. Corruption, nepotism, weak institutions, ethnic rivalries, and insecurity continue to hold the country back, confirmed by some residents.
Our level of impactfulness and our level of development and what have you, it's encouraging, I must be honest. And someone would, probably argue with me and say, why should I say so? And if you say, why should I say so, I will tell you why I say so. Why I say so is that Nigeria, we are still at the 60 plus, independence, 60 plus. So when you have a ratio to what has, the far American and other part of the global have been, I will tell you that America, had about 200 and something years in independence, likewise the Great Britain and what have you. So Nigeria at the 60 plus, I think we are not doing so bad.
Youths are largely jobless, which is the reason why there's so much insecurity, because, they are easy hands to hire. When the man is hungry, you promise him anything, he will join you.
The respondents called for leaders who will show true patriotism by reducing the cost of living, equitable distribution of scarce resources, reviving the economy, creating jobs for the teeming youth, and ensuring justice system for all. Happy Independence Day. Chidimi Kemede, Aneke TV.
Hello, I'm Debra Wakoba. I am Chidimi Kemede.
I am Uche Osai.
I'm Chiwendo Ifeonwankwe.
My name is Obobina Samson.
Please keep watching Aneke TV, or you can visit us on our socials like Instagram, Facebook, X, TikTok, or YouTube, all at Aneke TV.
This is Aneke TV. We move with the world.
Good morning and welcome to The Insight. Thank you for having faith in us to stay with us. Remember, on The Insight, we extract heartbeats of issues. We'll go beyond that to give you post-mortem analysis on topical issues, headlines, newspaper headlines, topics, issues that shape our nation. And today, we will be looking at the issue of combating human trafficking, NAPTIP's achievements and initiatives. And we're lucky to have in the studio with us with the zonal commander of NAPTIP, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, Mr. Obai Jonathan Awa. Mr. Obai Jonathan.
It's my pleasure.
We're so happy to have you. Yes.
Good day, Enugu.
Yes.
Good day, Nigeria.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
All right. Let me call you Mr. Jonathan.
Mr. Bai.
Mr. Bai. Okay. Mr. Bai.
Yes.
Without wasting much time, we are looking at combating human trafficking, your achievements and initiative. Can you describe NAPTIP's stance for and how it combats human trafficking? What NAPTIP stands for and how it's been combating human trafficking under your watch?
Thank you for that question. It's very lucid and succinct at this point, because so many people they do not know the full meaning of NAPTIP. NAPTIP is an acronym for National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. It was actually established in 2003 pursuant to Trafficking in Persons Enforcement Administration Act. The Act mandated the agency with the power, the responsibilities and mandate to combat the scourge of human trafficking and bring it to various minimum. Before, we thought it is something that we can just finish in a day. We said we were going to remove trafficking in persons. That is, we are going to remove it totally. But we found out that as every other crime, it cannot be possible.
All right.
This is because human trafficking is very different from every other crime. Why is this so?
Sorry, human trafficking is very different from every other crime.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Why is it so? It is because it can be committed even when people gather in the church, in the hospital, in the market, on the street, on transit, in buses. Everywhere can be committed. You know, it is movement. It is movement. People are moving, activities are going on. So you wouldn't know, even in the church, you wouldn't know whether somebody specifically came to the church to lure some unsuspecting victims, to lure children, to lure women, to lure children, to lure boys and girls, because it can happen. So that is why, even in the market, you wouldn't know what is happening. That is why it is very difficult to combat. However, I'll come to that, how we have been trying to combat it.
Okay. All right. Well, now that we've seen that the crime is different from other crimes, let's talk about how specific success stories where NAPTIP intervention have directly improved the lives of trafficking survivors.
Well, you know, like I said, it's a very difficult crime to combat. And because of that, we need stakeholders, partners, teachers, mothers, parents, religious leaders, community-based organizations, stakeholders, international, non-governmental organizations, faith-based organizations, community-based, vigilantes, so many to mention. And that is what we'll be using, because we are like their hand, and they are like our voice. So in the Bible, we say the hand of Esau and the voice of Jacob. We'll be using these people to fight this crime, because you know it's criminal in nature as well as it's a security issue.
Okay. But are there specific success stories that you want to tell us?
Yes, so many. You know, it was the agency, like I told you, was established in 2003. After about 2 years, because you are sincerely, that is before you. I'm a pioneer staff of the agency. I'm as old as the agency. This is my first time, first stint in working, in coming here to work. First time was in 2005. That was the first head of operation here. So the first success story started in 2005, when we recorded a fair conviction that came from Spain. In fact, one of the girl, the particular victim, is now working with us because she stood her ground and came to testify and got us the first conviction in 2006. Now, 2011, in short, I can't start cataloging every. We have been, as we speak now, we have so many convictions that I don't want to say off at, so that I have not been misquoted. But it has been successes and not successes.
All right. You know, upon investigation, before this interview, we were told that under your watch that you've secured many convictions. I was given up to 1,000 convictions under your watch. But I want to know how you were able to achieve that feat.
Okay, there is, you know, I made mention of the liaison or engagement between us and security law enforcement agencies. We work with them. Just on the 20th of last month, my friend, the DSS State Director, and my command had a joint operation that took us to Aniri. Aniri and another place, another local government called Ogun, our haven for human trafficking. So what we now do is, because like I told you, we have people that have been working with the vigilante, the police. Of course, you know, NAPTIP is a paramilitary organization. Even though we do not bear arms, we do not bear, we know we are just like SSS, we are just like NIS, we are just like EFCC, ICPC, like that. So we work with them. So how we've been doing that is that we spread our tentacles and get people who give us information. Remember, I made mention of the hand of Esau and voice of. So those people are there. The people have been coming from Adini to bring us feedback. They've been coming to us. This one I told you, on that 20th, the woman was just eating in her house in the morning, went and just carried and came back. So although she has right of bail, administrative bail, she came after about 2 days, because I made sure that she was there because she had been given a headache. We detained her. After about 3 days, we let her go because she brought somebody. That's what. Then, on the issue of you know, we also have referrals. There are cases that do not fall within our mandate. We send it out. But on the whole, it has been successes upon successes. I just came back from a training that was organized by Caritas Foundation, 5-day program. They insisted I must come. But I was in Benin that time. But I made sure because of the way they had even to send their people to come because of this same success story we are talking about. So it is the same way we are engaging them so that if you say something, you say something.
Okay. Talking about the hand of Jacob, the voice of Esau, we know that the trends are changing. How are you adapting your trends to meet up these traffickers' new methods and ways of committing this crime?
Thank you so very much. I like that question. They're actually trending. You know, before, human trafficking was just mostly, it was called, it is now called modern day slavery. I'm sure you don't know that people still believe that there is nothing like that because they feel that slavery and slave-like practices have been abrogated for years. What happened is that the traffickers are always, you know, fashioning out strategies and methods. The one that's actually in vogue in the South is sales of babies or baby harvest. Sales of babies or babies harvest.
Okay, babies harvest.
That one I told you about, that 20 on the 3rd of this month.
Okay.
3rd of this month. I think it was on a Thursday. One girl was trafficked online. She had to go from a place called Obo in Imo State to Abuja. From Abuja, she came, they took her to Abuja, from Abuja to a place in Abuja Municipal Area Council, they call Buhari. From there, she was having a baby, pregnant, and she was having pregnancy. Somebody now lured her online. She said she's this auxiliary nurse.
Okay.
So the guy said he was ready to buy the baby as well as marry her. That's how she was online, online, digital, the technology. They brought her. To cut the long story short, there's a place they call Ataku. They went and used her to give birth to that baby. They brought her to that hospital called Parkland. It was at that Parkland they collected the baby. The brother, the sister of the suspect, that the boyfriend, in quote, to held the baby by that small roundabout at that Parkland. Then the guy and the victim went home. It was out there that the lady started crying, came back and said she wanted to carry her baby. They brought her another one, baby in sack, in a waterproof bag. They brought that baby from the mortuary. So you can imagine what that online can do, because she joined that group. Somebody was there. She didn't even know that the person that was speaking in female voice was this boy. So you can see the gimmick they're using now. They can still get you online. They be, faking. Everything about human trafficking is based on deceit.
Okay.
Deception, fraud, coercion, abduction, force. Human trafficking can be gotten in three elements of human trafficking. One, the act, what is done. The means, how it is done. The purpose, exploitation.
Okay.
So the act now is that they first of all made sure that the trafficker, she engaged in transportation. They can pay for the transportation. She went to Abuja like that. But this online now, there's something they call online grooming. You are grooming, you are training somebody to build that relationship, that romantic relationship that can maybe metamorphose into this. She came into it thinking that she was dealing with another. She didn't know that the man was actually after the baby that she was carrying. That's how they took it. They saw that one they call sextortion. This is a form of blackmail. Sextortion, blackmail. Maybe in the heat of passion, you are making love with your friend or girlfriend or boyfriend. The guy may take your nude picture, nudity, and went and bring it to internet and show. Now you will now be the one begging, please, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? And it's for either financial or material benefit. The person will now start making fictitious offers in a bid to make sure that he collects so much money. Otherwise, the person will now expose it.
All right. Come on. From everything you said, this thing was happening online. How do you get the intelligence? to deal with this?
I cannot disclose it,
Okay,
but the most important thing,
okay.
the most important, you know, there is a way
the
we
most
work.
important thing is that you're adapting to the new strategy.
Yes, you know,
Okay.
it's intelligent, and I told you like this is paramilitary system.
Okay,
it's a paramilitary strategy. We work with Nigerian Civil Defense, Civil Defense Corps, Nigerian Police, Nigerian Immigration Service. We work with SSL in our management. So these are the ones we have our intelligence.
You use collaborations
to arrive at that is the key. That is key.
All right.
Before I forget, we also fight in totality. We fight with 5 P's. 1, policy. The policy pronouncement that the federal government said they have zero tolerance to trafficking in person. We also have prosecution. We do not just take anybody to court. We make sure that, first of all, prevention. We do sensitization. We go to schools. We go to sources. We go to markets and sensitize people on the ease of women, telling them this is still happening. So when perhaps somebody falls short of the law, you are arrested and after taking your statement, we give it to legal department for legal prosecution. But that person might have been taken to the shelter, that's protection, and kept after rescue. After that one, then we'll have what we call partnership, just like what I come with you now, to have, shake your hand so that we collaborate. We collaborate in the form of fighting this crime because all hands must be on deck to fight it.
All right. On that note, we'll go on a short break. While we return, we'll still continue to talk with the zonal commander of Enugu Zonal Command of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. Thank you for staying with us. We are still talking with the Zonal Commander of NAPTIP, National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP, Enugu Zonal Command, Mr. Upai Jonathan Awa.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Now, for want of time, I want to ask again, because I heard you made mention of it. How do you collaborate? I mean, NAPTIP under your command. How do you collaborate with communities to raise awareness and prevent trafficking at grassroots level?
Good. Like I told you, we go on sensitization.
Okay.
That's why I told you I came with come with my unit head in charge of public enlightenment.
Okay.
Public enlightenment is all about advocacy, sensitization. We go to market, we go to hospital. Immediately I came here, I know that I came on a strange terrain. So I started going to meet with my people, our sister law enforcement agencies. I went to NIS, Nigerian Immigration Service. I went to Nigerian Police Force. I went to Nigerian Security and Civil Defense. I met all of them. I also went to meet with your Igwe, the political Igwe, and the local Igwe. There is one that is based in this side, Aneke. I went to meet with him to draw more support. We actually went there on advocacy visit. We are advocating that they lend their hand in helping us. And their voices carry so much weight. It's just like your daughter, your child. Sometimes, many times when they come back from school, they will always be telling you what their auntie said, and that is the one they will believe so much. So we believe that once Digwe speaks, everybody will hear.
Okay.
So that is how we get in touch with them. Then we also make sure that the vigilantes, security apparatus, like I told you, those people at Ogu and Aneke, they are really doing marvelously well. There's no week that passes that they do not call us. There's another place they call Ogrute, Enugu North, Enugu South. We are planning to go on sensitization there. We have a program that we call STIP, STEEP is an acronym for School Anti-Trafficking in Persons Education Advocacy Education Project, STEEP, STEAP. So we are trying to catch students young, students of school age young. So we are going to do 50 schools. We have already done 10. So the next one is going to be 15. We have already done 10. Okay. We went to this school, the city school here. This school just opposite ShopRite. So many of the schools, including Godfrey Okoye, Calvary, and many of them in Avina Tumbo. We have done that. Very soon, we also went to Osala High School. There's one at Obofia and something like that. Okay. This time around, we'll be going towards soccer now. So we still want to go, because you know children, once you get them, you have getting them. Once you get them, you are getting them, because they are harbingers of, you know, this peer group influence is so much on them. Because this issue has to do with traveling. We are talking about traveling. I want to Chagba. I want to go and hustle. There's nothing good about hustling. If you look it up, hustling means prostitution. Hustling means doing something that you are not yet ready or mature to do. So we want to tell them that, sensitize them on the fact that nobody says you should not travel. Okay. But you should travel legally.
All right. Now, you know, naturally people may not ask, believing that you're well-funded and you get sponsorship. But I want to ask, what are the challenges you're facing at your command?
I've already said the first of all is budgetary constraints, okay. Fiscal constraint. Just like even here, even you, everybody's complaining about money. Even federal government is complaining about money. That's one of them. And that one is a lack of victim witness. There's something we call Stockholm Syndrome. It means compromising relationship between the victim and the suspect. This is the suspect that makes you dry, suck you dry, that took you out of the country and made you to suffer. And when that person is apprehended and brought to justice, you say, I'm not going to come to testify. Don't you know it's my brother? Don't you know it's my sister? She was even the one person that made me to go out of the country. I cannot come. But now, they wouldn't know that this case between the suspect and Attorney General of the Federation. So, you know, and because of these cultural norms, that takes me to these cultural norms and these cultural norms and the cultural norms. That's one of them. It makes also to have a very difficult conviction. But we are waiting in the storm, because once we start, we have already started. Then we also have those three are actually what we are, that's a problem. Then we also have lack of enough capacity, that personnel. And here, we are just very few here. And it's also affecting us, because when some of them are on leave, you find out that the job with somebody, we are still waiting in the storm. Then logistics, of course, you know that one.
Okay. All right. I've seen that you don't want to talk about your successes in this command, but I can but ask again. That let me elaborate about your achievements and success.
Let me tell you one of the successes.
Okay.
I've already told you that we went to schools. We are trying to catch, inaugurate 50 active VAP, we call it active VAP, Anti-Trafficking Persons, Violence Against Persons Club, in schools, these 50 schools. We have done 10. So, as long as we're able to inaugurate those, that particular school, you have 30 students. You have 2 coordinators who will be guiding them. Like, you know, since they are still children, you have these people that will make them, these coordinators too are also teachers or counselors of that school. Okay. But the particular school will be at free as possible to nominate who they want to be those coordinators. It could be principals, it could be you head teachers that will do that. So for us to have successfully inaugurated those, if you multiply 30 to how many? 10 schools now, you know what it is now. Let alone when we are done with the remaining 40. So for us to have caught them young, because they will have something like peer, you know, it's a peer group relation now. They will be talking to that school and knowing, because the most important thing we did there was to make sure that we build their capacity on how to dictate and respond and report human trafficking cases. Like I told you, human trafficking is not a case that everybody is just the same thing. There are certain red flags, how indicators of how for you to know this is a human trafficking case. One of them, let me just tell you, is that you can see young children, young girls, young boys in a particular bus, in a particular vehicle, traveling with one person, an adult, among them who is playing a role in that ring. They will be traveling. And that one, you see them, when you stop them, you see them in their bag. They have provisions. Ogba, agidi, akamu, gari, water inside that bag. Thirdly, when they are intercepted or stopped at a checkpoint, you see them, they will be jittering. Because they have already been coached. They wouldn't know what to say, so that they will not put themselves in trouble, nor put the person that's taking them to trouble. And that thing is that when a question is asked on a particular person, a particular individual, I'm asking you now, what is your name? The person will relapse. The child, the boy, the girl will not talk because he cannot say. And that thing is that they have similar stories. They have similar stories. You see, you cannot, it's not that it's concocted. And that is that they don't know where they are going to. They don't know, they don't particularly know where they are going to. And at times, sometimes when you see, when on transit, you see them being, with bruises, with bruises will hurt, because exploitation can starts right from the starting point. On transit everywhere, you see them like that. So these are the capacity we built on these children, that if you see this kind of thing, know that a trafficking is being, human trafficking is being committed.
Okay, thank you. That was very elaborate. However, I will give you a few minutes to speak directly to our audience.
Hello, my people. Ndị Igbo ekene m ndị Enugu State. Ihe anyị na-ekwu ebe a bụ human trafficking, modern day slavery. Unu ma oge gboo a na-akpọ ya ịtụpụ mmadụ n'obodo oyibo ka o jekwu ka ọ ga-gbaba akwụna ka ọ ga na-efe ndị mmadụ. Mana ugbu a unu lo na ọgwụsigo, but a ka na-eme ya. It is still happening. So do not be deceived with the fact that it is no longer happening. It is still happening. So what I want to tell you people is that if you see something, say something. In that place you are, in that small corner that you are, look around and see if somebody, because we're also operating Violence Against Persons Provision Act. Violence against persons. Family upon family, wife and spouse, they are fighting. You see people beating and killing. You see people, somebody that has left the family and refuses to provide and make provision for the family. It is violence against that person. You see, issue of rape. Rape is also violence against person. Talk about wife battery, spousal battery, pouring of substances, harmful substances on somebody. These are issues that we call violence against person. We are the one that are considered of it. So if you have something like that, you can come to 18B Ekulu West, GRA, just behind Park Lane Hospital. That is where our office. Come and report that case. We are going to give it accelerated hearing.
All right. Thank you very much. That was so awesome. And we've been speaking to the Zonal Commander, Mr. Okpai Jonathan, our Enugu Zonal Command of National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons, NAPTIP. However, remember, on the insight, your voice matters. Reach us with the hashtag, the insight, on this very issue. Are there more topics, more issues that you feel concerned that NAPTIP, Enugu Zonal Command, should address? Let us know. Or other topical issues that we should bring to the front burner on the insight. Don't forget to reach us with at Aneke TV on our social media handles, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and S. And remember, your voice matters. On that note, we will draw the curtain today on the insight. Commander, it's been a pleasure speaking with you.
My pleasure. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll meet another day.
All right. So we'll come your way, same time tomorrow. Bye-bye. I am your host, Uche Osai.